Hello fellow golfers, welcome to Your Simple Golf Swing. I'm Matt. In today's video, I want to talk about the swing plane and how the swing plane changes ever so slightly with every club in your bag. Now, if you're a regular viewer and you've been studying the Your Simple Golf Swing method, you'll know that I teach that it's the same swing for every club in your bag. And that's still true regardless of how that swing plane changes ever so slightly. But these subtle changes in the swing plane are extremely important to help make sure that you maximize every single club in your bag and get everything out of it that you possibly can. Now, before I get into the lesson, I just want to welcome those of you that are new to my channel. Please take a few minutes after this video to look through my channel where you will see that I've posted over 130 free instructional golf videos for you to learn the swing from. For those of you that are interested in learning it a little faster, I designed a course with exclusive video never loaded up to YouTube before that will take you from the very beginning, from how to take the grip through every part of the swing all the way through your follow through. You can find the link for that course down in my description. Okay, let's get back to the swing plane changes or subtle differences between every club. So, how can we have a different swing plane dependent on the club we're using if it's the same swing? Well, the mechanisms and the motions that we do are going to be the same with every club, but there's going to be subtle differences in our swing plane. And I want to demonstrate those for you here, or illustrate them here. Right here I have a 9-iron, right here I have a 3-iron. If we were to set each club to where that face or that head is square and level to the ground, that's the 9-iron, and then we take the 3-iron and we put it so it's level and square to the ground, you'll see that the angles on these shafts that angle created between the head and the shaft is slightly different. It's different on every club in your bag. And if you notice, you'll see that the 9-iron stands a little more upright than the 3-iron. You'll really see a dramatic difference when you grab the driver, which is obviously the longest club in your bag, and you set those two clubs nice and square to the ground like you would at a dress, and you'll see there's a dramatic difference in the angle created between the club head and the shaft. So how does that impact, guide, and direct how we should take the club back? Well, if you remember, again, if you're a regular viewer, we break our hands like this. We don't do a wrist roll. We break our hands like this, hyperextending that trail hand and bringing that other hand under like that. Well, when we address a golf ball, we'll start with a 9-iron here. What we want to do is we want to mimic that same angle or that same plane that shaft is already on. And this will dictate how we start that initial break under as we start going back. We're going to break under just like taking that hand back just like that, and we want to do it along the plane of that shaft. Now, when you get to the top of your swing, you may find yourself in the same position with every club, and that's fine. The reason that it's important that we take that back on the same angle as the shaft is because one of the most powerful things in our swing is what's happening with our right hand and our right forearm, or our trail hand and our trail forearm. It's being set in a position that when we come down, it's going to unleash with incredible fury into that ball. If we were to take that back either a little lower than that or a little higher than that, what that does is that's going to deactivate some of the muscles and nerves in the forearm that we need to really generate that speed through the club. It's a very subtle difference, but it makes a huge difference in what's going to happen when you come down into impact. It's going to happen, or it's going to cause that reflective motion when you start down to be a little bit weaker than it would if you were in the optimal position. So when I take the club back with a 9-iron, I want to make sure I just picture that plane that this shaft is already on, and with my hand position, I want to make sure I mimic that exact same angle. and I'll maximize that swing. I'll maximize that power coming in. And then we move to the longer clubs, and it's going to change. So now I'm going to go to the 5-iron. Now with the 5-iron, again, that's going to be a little bit different than the 9-iron. So now with the 5-iron, I don't feel like I'm taking it back any flatter. I'm probably going to arrive to the same position at the top, but I'm going to try my very best to imagine that I'm mimicking the same angle that this 5-iron plane is already on. Now, what are some of the other reasons why that makes a difference? We have the club head square and it's flat to the ground here. And when we take it back on that angle, it's going to come back to square, flat, level on the ground. If we were to take our 5-iron back on the same plane from takeaway that we do our 9, what's going to happen is we're going to come up and it's going to come down with the toe down first. And that's going to cause all kinds of problems. You're not going to hit a straight shot that way. Conversely, if we were to bring the 9-iron back on the same plane as that 5-iron, then when we come back, we're going to come down and we're going to hit the heel first. That's going to bring that toe around and it's going to cause us to pull the ball. Now, why is it that with every one of those clubs, you know, if it appears that I get to the same position at the top, then why does that make a difference down here? The reason it makes a difference down here, I go back to what's going on in your forearm here and in your wrist and even in your lead hand. You're activating certain muscles, certain tendons, and certain nerves. And just no matter what position you get to at the top, those things are activated. Mike Dunaway talked about swinging back into tension, and when he's saying tension, he's not talking about a super uncomfortable tension. He's just talking about a little bit of tension in the top, and then when you come back through and swing, you're actually swinging out of tension. Making sure you come back on that proper plane, regardless of where you get at the top, you have gotten all of the right tendons, muscles, and nerves into that state of tension. So when you come down, you have this incredible velocity in your club head as that tension is released. If you take it back a little bit off that plane, it's not going to activate the same muscles, tendons, and nerves. Some will get activated, some will not. It's just a remarkable thing, and you'll find when you practice this, you'll see an incredible difference. Maybe sometimes you felt like when you've swung your 3-iron, it doesn't feel like things are snapping through as much as they do as with maybe your 7-iron. It's probably because you're taking them, breaking off the ball at the same angle when you need to make sure you're breaking off the ball at the angle that the club presents you at address. Hand position, will that cause the hand position to change these different angles? Well, it doesn't, and I'll show you why. Here's a driver and here's a 9-iron, okay? I take my 9-iron, which is much closer, stands a little more upright, and my hands are right here, okay? I'm going to drop that, and I'm going to take the driver, which is longer, and it lays a little flatter, and my hands are still here. They're still going to be in the same position. So we're still going to get that same feeling breaking back, okay? So go out there, grab a few different length clubs. Take a couple of clubs that are exceptionally different, like I did earlier with a 9 and the 3. Okay, we got the 9 and the 3. They're very different. So what you want to do is you want to just go out in your backyard, make sure that club head is square to the ground, nice and flat on the bottom, and then just envision this plane that's created by this angle and do a few breakaways, just like that, okay? Then grab your longer club, 3-iron here, do the same thing, hand position in the same place, and look at that angle, and just think of bringing it back on the same plane created by the angle of the club head in the shaft. You'll see this will make a huge difference in your consistency and, most importantly, your efficient power as you come back down through the ball. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and be sure to check out all my other videos on my channel and give the course a try. The link's down in the description. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.